The Abu is a psychiatric nurse, a fitness coach, and an influencer. This guy left Ghana in 1978. So currently, he announced that he got back to home where his heart belongs from UK. Sorry, he left Ghana 1978 to the UK. I didn't even know this guy is a Ghanaian because I follow most of his content. If you want to lose weight, you must have to follow Eddie. Eddie talks on the importance of egg and the reasons why you should make egg your major meal. So the video did not sit well with a lot of Ghanaians, and they had a lot of things to say. They were like, see, what do you mean by you left Ghana 1978? You came back mostly after 50 years and you said nothing changed. He showed us his neighborhood and said nothing changed. So a lot of Ghanaians were asking him under the comment section, what do you mean? The Kotoka International Airport that you passed through, hasn't it changed? Why some of them blamed government for being bad and not, being insensitive? Some of them actually agreed with Eddie and said it is only in Accra and Kumasi that's changed. Every other places in Ghana are still the same. Let's watch these videos.
I am finally in Ghana. I'm walking at the airport, Kotoka International Airport. The town you see there, that's exactly where I grew up. That's where I was born. Nothing has changed. I left Ghana in 1978. So even though I was born here, this really isn't my home. You know, as much as I don't like to say the UK is my home, I've lived here for about 15 years only. So I'm going to be making a few videos, content, just show you exactly where I grew up, how my life was, where I went to school, where I lived, and exactly what I ate. I visited a couple of restaurants and I'll be posting the videos so you can see my life in Ghana. Nothing has changed. It looks exactly the same as it did 50 years ago when I left.
Before I show you guys one more last video, let's quickly take a few comments. Someone said, bros, no place in Ghana looks exactly like the same 50 years ago. He now said, someone replied him and said, most places look the same. It's only in Accra and Kumasi that have actually changed significantly. So I think what Eddie was trying to say is that it's just his neighborhood that hasn't really changed, because he pointed at the particular house he grew up in and the particular restaurant he ate and the locations, and he felt like probably the paints are still the same, or probably he felt that there should have been a major construction, major development in that area, but then it isn't. Let me show you guys another important video that I saw and it shocked me. I wasn't really surprised because I know how Nigerians actually belittle their fellow Nigerians. What?
Mr. Speaker, I sit here, my colleague is saying the cattle, the herdman, values his cows more than the lives he is killing. But it's not true. You can't sit down here and just make conclusions. Yes, the herdman values even the life of the cow more than his own life. That is how God has created him.
No cow, not even 10 billion cows, is up or has enough value like a human being.
Did you hear what this man said on this video? Yeah, God of Israel. Nigeria cannot stop amazing me. Like, when you think you have seen it all, you see another one that will let you know you haven't seen anything yet. This is what a woman that takes him, carry child in her womb for 9 months, give birth to a child, not the child, watch her child grow, came out to say on national TV that a herdsman believe that the life of their cattle is more important than human life and even that of their life. If herdsmen believe that the life of their cattle is more important than human life, why don't they take their own life and live all that value our life more than animals to live? So this statement she made in this, in fact, the funny part of all these things is that this woman came out in the national TV. This is in the parliament, in the House of Assembly, that she came out to make this kind of utterance. Somebody's mother. That the life of a cattle is more important to herdsmen than human life, including their own life. If they value the life of their cattle or that of the animal more than people's life, more than human being life, why not they buy themselves so that their cattle can wander around? Then we that want to live will live. Because tell me how somebody, a human being that God created, or it doesn't mean that he had a slip of tongue, or she did not understand what she said. Because when I watched this video, I was like, maybe I didn't hear well, I have to go and replay it again before I download it. I say, a woman came out in the National Assembly to say that the life of a cattle is more important to them than that of human being, including theirs. Then why are they living? They should buy themselves. Then leave us who does not value animal, or who doesn't compare the life of a human being to animal, to live, than buying us and living with their cattle. Like, why am I smelling these people? These people are not sincere. Why am I smelling that they can never be sincere? Because something just happened at Uromi and everybody is agitating, everybody is feeling emotion about it. But these people have been buying us countless of time like multiples of people have been fired on daily basis by these Fulani people. And just one thing that happened, everybody was just on it.
I'm going to add to what Evan Mira has been saying. There is this incident that happened towards the eastern part of Nigeria where Fulani herdsmen had to buy a family simply because they actually asked their cows to, like, they pursued their cows out of their farm. So this beautiful couple, alongside with their children, planted some crops, and these cows invaded the crops, the farmland, and ate almost everything, destroying the ridges and everything. So they felt like, what is really going on? So they called, the cattle rearers and who are the Fulanis, and told them that this is actually insane. Can you make sure that you monitor these cows so that they don't obstruct or destroy the farmlands and all that? They acted on deaf ear, because the truth still remains that communication is always a key. Most times those Fulani men do not really understand English, or probably they wouldn't understand dialect Igbo speaking because they're not from Igbo tribe. So they communicated the way they could. Of course, they knew that what the cows were doing wasn't really right. Do you know this family succeeded in pursuing the cow out aggressively, and before you know it, they woke up the next morning and this Fulani men has spied all the family members. Like, they literally spied all the family members. So what the whole thing is actually insinuating is the fact that these guys treasure the lives of cow more than human lives, and they felt like there's no way you should treat the cow the way you treated the cow. Can you guys imagine if a speaker can actually come out and say that cows are more valued in Nigeria than human lives? This is actually the truth. It's the bitter truth. So when I saw this Eva Mira coupled with the story I already know, I knew that there was something not really right. Let's watch this video.
Ghanaians see Nigerians as enemy and all those things. And you see, let me tell you, I want to address two things, because this particular message has come over. I have over 20 of similar messages. Let me show you one thing. There are two words I want to pick out of that statement. One is hate. The other one is enemy. I think these are two strong words that should not be used in a conversation of brotherliness. Trust me. For you to have a strong argument, I prefer you use a word like trust. Ghanaians don't trust Nigerians. You have a good argument. But for you to say Ghanaians hate Nigerians, I don't think I will permit that on my platform, on my page. I don't promote that. But if you say Ghanaians have a trust issue with Nigerians, you have a strong argument. I'm going to come back to talk about that. And I want you to replace the word enemy with a word competition. Ghanaians, if you say Ghanaians see Nigerians as enemy, I don't want to hear that. I prefer you rather say Ghanaians see Nigerians as a competition. I think you have an argument. Because an average black man has a competitive spirit. That is why you see some of your church, your pastor will just say, I see you, you are the star of your family, and you are jumping and say amen. I see that you will be the breadwinner of your family, you say amen. I also have trust issues with Nigerians. That is obviously, there is no argument about that. Why am I saying this? You can't pour a spit on someone's face and tell the person how to react towards the spit you spat on his face. You know, you can't throw stone on someone and tell the person how to react towards the stone you threw. You get a point. There must be a kind of reaction towards an action. A perception has been created. Do you understand what I'm saying? Towards Nigerians. It takes a process to build a perception. It takes a process to build a perception. So let your life be a process that will change that perception.
I totally agree with this guy. I really love his content because most times he speaks nothing but the truth. Ghanaians do not hate Nigerians. I've actually made these videos countless times. Ghanaians do not see Nigerians as enemies, right? Ghanaians only has trust issues where Nigerians are because they merited it. They've actually proved to them that they are not willing to be trusted. Let us take it down to the Ben Peters video that is currently trending. A Nigerian guy that decided to block the entrance to Jubilee House because of his selfish reasons. You know, he's still under investigation, and I hope he gets deported very soon because what he did was actually insane. And I would like him to know they're going to teach him a lesson so that the numerous Nigerians coming to Ghana will know that Ghana, is not a lawless country. And because you have money does not mean that you are above the law in Ghana. So the thing there is that Nigerians are always on the neck of Ghanaians. Nigerians are always trying to intimidate, bully this set of people that has done absolutely nothing to them, right? But when it comes to hate is a big word. And I can tell you guys for free, the way Ghanaians accommodate people. I've actually seen videos where even some Ghanaians are complaining that the kind of love Ghanaians give to foreigners and Nigerians, they don't even get a quarter of that type of love. So the truth still remains that Ghanaians really love Nigerians, but probably I love you, but I might not trust you. You can love your neighbor, but you cannot trust. You may not be able to trust your neighbor because of your neighbor's past experiences and probably the way your neighbors has treated you over the years. So yeah, this is what I have to say here. Ghanaians love Nigerians. Ghanaians accommodate Nigerians. To the truth be told, aside if Ghanaians were actually enemies to Nigerians, we don't have the number of Nigerians currently living in Ghana. I believe that the number must have reduced significantly because nobody goes to where he or she wouldn't be allowed. But when you see a lot of Nigerians living in Ghana, what they say is that there's nothing like freedom. There is freedom. That there is the kind of freedom they even have in Ghana, they wish to have it in Nigeria. Freedom from police people are not brutalizing them. Freedom from, the security there is high. They can randomly walk around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. without them feeling any insecure. If an OG here, if you've been following my content, you know that I've made a lot of videos where people are working, at night and confessing that if they had worked at this time of the night in Nigeria, they would have been pied. So what is this telling you? This tells you that Ghana is a blessed country. Ghanaians and Nigerians are actually brothers. I'm going to say that, even though I know I'm going to be attacked for saying this. Ghanaians do not hate Nigerians. They just do not want the bad Nigerians that constantly comes around to pollute their country. Let me know in the comment section, have you ever had any, significant or any weird experience with the Fulanis in Nigeria, especially when it comes to cattle rearing, and just let me know your basic opinions down in the comment section. If this is your first time, please do not make your last subscribe. I'd like to have you here, and I will see you guys soon in my next one. Stay happy, be kind, and be blessed. Bye.